Hello, folks. We're here with Brilliant Brandon and...
Hey, I'm Redneck Phil.
And this is an in-depth study into brain mapping.
Yeah, we're gonna map some brains. Hey man, I heard something called brain mapping the other day. I was thinking to myself, I wish I could map my wife's brain so I could know what that woman is thinking.
Well, brain mapping is the study of the brain and spinal cord through neural imagery. It helps us paint a more accurate picture of how the brain functions.
Yeah, so what exactly is this brain mapping business? I mean, I've heard about it, but I can't really wrap my noggin around it.
Well, Redneck Phil, scientists have found a way to create a digital image of your entire brain. This means we can see the neurons in action and process every thought in your head. The scientists basically take a photocopy of your brain like making a copy with a printer. With these digital scans, we can see how neurons fire in your brain and ultimately how humans think. So let's take a look at some of the scientists and delve into the brain.
So what does all this brain mapping crap matter anyway?
Are you kidding? Brain mapping holds the key to improving so many fields in science, medicine, social work.
Like knowing what a woman is thinking?
Well, there's a little more to it than that. Since the dawn of computers, people have used them to make their lives easier, automation and such, but this goes far beyond machines and an assembly line. Brain mapping holds the potential to truly get computers to think like people as far as decision-making processes. It's extremely useful as far as the development of artificial intelligence. Just think, this is the technology that'll get cars to drive themselves. We already know it's possible. Scientists have successfully mapped the brain of a roundworm into a Lego robot, and it was capable of basic movement.
A robot fishing worm? But what about saving lives? Can brain mapping save lives just like Jesus?
Excellent question, Phil. You see, brain mapping is something we can apply to the medical world in all different kinds of people with mental illness or diseases such as Alzheimer's.
Oh yeah, that's the disease where elderly folk forget who they are and get lost.
Correct. And with more brain mapping research, scientists may find a cure for Alzheimer's. But that's only if we can get more people on board with brain mapping. Once we understand how the brain works down to every neuron, we'll be able to treat individuals who suffer from Tourette's, ADHD, autism. I mean, President Obama gave $100 million in funding to the brain mapping project. We as the human race stand a better chance of increasing our intelligence and accessing the unused parts of the brain. This can solve virtually all brain diseases and will advance the intelligence of the entire human race.
Well, I don't know about humanity, but I sure could use to stand to improve my intelligence.
You know, it's funny you say that, Redneck Phil, because we're actually going to map your brain and see what's wrong with you.
Hold on right there, Your Brilliance. What do you mean, what's wrong with me?
It was discovered that Redneck Phil had a large tumor on his left frontal lobe, which is responsible for personality and speech. Neurosurgeons utilize brain mapping to remove only the tumor without damaging surrounding nerve cells, still responsible for activity. Here we see a new, more elegant Phil.
After having my brain mapped through the use of nanotechnology and endoscopic imagery, I can now look back on my life and think to myself, wow, isn't this amazing that I can now graphically represent the progression of my intellect as the indefinite integral of the natural exponential function e to the x?
As you can see, Redneck Phil has become exponentially smarter, all thanks to brain mapping.